Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. I've brought my truck into the garage. I drove this yesterday and I noticed that the steering was pulling to the left, and I thought, oh, what's caused that? And I looked at the tyres and the tyres appeared to be blown up okay. And then just as I was coming to the house, as I was braking, the brake suddenly went down, like about, I don't know, I'm going to say a quarter of an inch or something like that, you know, a small amount. So what I suspect is that the wheel cylinder on this side was stuck and then let go when the brake moved. I haven't driven it since except just to pull in here, but I'm assuming that it's actually probably, it won't pull now because the cylinder has moved. But obviously what I want to do, I think, is to jack it up and have a look at the brakes. Just make sure the wheel cylinders are okay. Maybe clean them and just re-grease them and put them back together. Or if they are bad, put some new ones on. I've got a pair of new ones that I bought when I was working on the 33. So I'll move these things here, make myself a little bit more room, and get this one having a look at, because this is the side that it was pulling towards, and so this is the side that I think the wheel cylinder was stuck. Okay, so that's my little job, to have a look at the front brakes on the truck. Okay, I'll get it jacked up and get the wheels off and bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, right, so I've got the front end jacked up and on jack stands. This is the cylinder that I suspect might have been stuck because the car was pulling to this side. So that's rusty there, isn't it? Now these cylinders aren't particularly very old, they're probably only about 5 years old, something like that. I don't really know what you can expect, you know, what you're supposed to expect. I suppose my best plan is to put new cylinders in. It hasn't leaked really badly, but there's rusty sort of sediment in there, isn't there? That's not good really. So I'll get my spring loppers and take the spring off to start the ball rolling. I'm undoing the bolts, so I've got better access to the back of the hose. 10mm. That's a 10mm. Ooh. Okay. So is that going to leak or this? 5/8. Okay. Just put the blade nipple back in loosely. Okay, so that's loose. So that turns by hand. Okay, so I'll take the bolts out. these can go like that. This will come out and I can, okay, I'll leave it like that and I'll get the new one ready to go. Look at that, it's bad, isn't it? It does move. Okay. I'll leave it like that and I'll get the new one ready to screw on. If I can think where I've left them. There's my new cylinder. I haven't got a copper washer for this one, so I'm going to have to just reuse that one. Okay, so that's got about a quarter of a turn of wrapping on it. So I might undo the union. I might undo that union there and let it turn a quarter turn to go back to its natural state. Large end to the front, small end to the back. So other than bleeding, that's back together. So I'll grease the bearings and put the hub on. I didn't change the adjustment on the brakes. Now the thing is, I suppose on the strength that this one started going bad, I need to check all the others like I did on the 33. Okay, I'll stop recording and I'll bring you back when I get to the next stage. Hello. Here are the cylinders that I took off, and the one on the right wasn't particularly stuck. The one on the left was actually quite stuck. I had to kind of hammer the pistons out, so I'm quite happy to have fitted new ones because these were not particularly great. Okay, so I've done enough for now, but tomorrow I'll have a look at the back brakes. Okay, I'll bring you back if and when there's more to show. Hello, it's the day after and I've actually been cleaning up the Thunderbird a little bit. When I was working on the truck yesterday and taking the brakes apart, I was looking for a problem with that wheel there. I don't know what happened, but I kind of remembered it wrong. The vehicle was actually pulling to that side, and in my mind I thought, oh, I wonder if the tyre's flat on this side, you know, the tyre's a bit low on this side, creating a difference in the braking. But the tyre wasn't flat. But still in my mind, I hadn't twigged what was going on, and I took that brake apart looking for a problem on that side and noticed that it was leaking on the cylinder. So I put a new cylinder on. Now, I didn't film it because I thought that side was the side with the problem. This side, I took it apart and the cylinder really was stuck. I struggled to get it apart. And I've just spoke to Jeff, because he was with me in the truck when I was driving it. And he said, no, it was pulling to my side, the right-hand side. Of course, that makes sense. If this wheel cylinder was sticking and not putting the brake on, it would pull to that side because that brake was working. Even though that brake had leaks and signs of rust, this brake wasn't working, so it was pulling to the right. So I'm glad Jeff's just cleared that up for me, because I couldn't remember which side it was pulling to. But that makes sense now. I've put new wheel cylinders on, and I've just ordered some more new ones to backfill so that I've got a pair on the shelf. I've also ordered a pair of rear wheel cylinders in the hope that they will be usable, because a few years ago when I was ordering stuff, they were all no good. I'm hoping that the problems that they had a few years ago have been put right. If they haven't, I'll have to rebuild those ones again. Well, I don't even know if they need rebuilding, but I'll get the rear hubs off and have a look and see what the situation is there. Okay, thanks for joining me in the garage. I'll bring you back when I've moved this one on a bit and there's something more to show. Hello, welcome to Mart's garage. I'm continuing to work on the truck. I want to look at the back brake, so I'm going to pop the hub off. If you don't fear for your own mortality while you're doing it, it's not tight enough. That works. Last time I tried that with a hammer, well, I used a copper mallet and it didn't do it. So I thought I'd use a steel hammer that time to give it a more of a shock, and it seems to have worked. Fair bit of dust in there. I'll get the vacuum. If the cylinders look okay, I'll probably just put them back together again. I might put new ones on. I've got some new ones on order, depends how long they take. I'll repeat that on the other side. I haven't got enough room to film on that side, so I'll just go and do it now. Back in a bit. That looks okay. Oh, there's a bit of wetness there, look. Okay. See that down there, look. Alright. I'd say these are serviceable, but I think I'd like to change it, depending on what the ones look like when they arrive, when they come in, which should be in 2 or 3 days. Let's have a look at the other side. That one looks okay. Oh, That one wet? Yeah, that one's actually wet, look. Can you see that? See, that one's wet. Okay. Okay, I need to decide what I'm going to do. Righto, so I have got rebuild kits. I could rebuild this, but it's already rebuilt at least once. I'll slip these boots back on and leave it for now. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that for now then. I've done my investigation. I've busted the hubs and I'll wait for the cylinders and I'll swap them on if they're drilled okay. If not, I'll be rebuilding these. Okay, I'll bring you back when there's more to show. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. I'm continuing to work on the brakes on the truck. The parts came in from Rock Auto. This is a rear wheel cylinder. Now, I've already put the one on the driver's side, so I'm going to show you what this one's like. For years there's been a problem with these cylinders. The angle at which this hole is drilled coincides in the bore further up than they used to years ago, which means the piston can't come back as far as they used to. So I'll show you, let's see if this one's the same as the other one. Now this is a Centric brand. I bought it from Rock Auto. Now this cylinder actually looks different than the other one. The other one didn't have a clearly defined step in the bore. Can you see where that hole's drilled there? Let's do a comparison with an original cylinder. This one don't look too bad, to be honest. Right, here's an original cylinder. If I put that drill through there, so it just sticks into the bore, right, and I'll hold it down with my thumb and I'll measure down there the depth to where that comes in. Now these are metric, I make no apologies for that. Sometimes it's easier for me to work in metric. Right. And that's, the body is bottomed out on there now. Okay, and that is 38, call it 39 millimeters. It's a fraction off 39 millimeters. Okay, that would be 39 there. So call it 39 millimeters. Right, I've got that through in the same way. Okay, I've just done that the same. It's touched it on there and brought the body down till the body bottom's on there. So 39, 36, it's 36.2. So it's 2.8 millimeters further up the bore. The other one was 4 millimeters. That's not too bad actually. Okay. What I did on the other one to stop the seal being pushed back so far is I skimmed some off the back of there. So if that's 2.8 millimeters, I'm going to take 100th thou off there, so that the seal doesn't go back as far. I'm just going to go and get that set up in the lathe and I'll take a skim off there. I took 160th thou. I took 150th thou off the other one because that hole was further up the bore. I should have shown that one, shouldn't I, because it was worse. It still shows that these cylinders are not being made correctly these days. They're all copies of copies of copies, and the dimensions have drifted. Ten years ago I was buying cylinders and they were wrong, and they're still wrong now. I've wasted hundreds of pounds on wheel cylinders. But I don't want having to try and keep rebuilding the old ones, so I'm trying to make these work. The idea of skimming it is to keep the seal up the bore a bit. Okay, there's my modified piston. The other one was quite dirty inside, so let's get a clean bit of tissue, bit of tissue roll. Nice and clean, isn't it? Nice and clean, would you say? Anybody think it was still full of machining shit? I mean, why so tight? I like the look of that seal actually. See, that one's got like a sharp edge there. That one's like, well, it hasn't got a sharp edge. Don't like the look of that. I didn't notice what the other one was like. That's the one that's just come off the other side. No, I don't like the look of that seal. I've got some seal kits. Hang on, let me find one of those. That looks better, I'd say. Yeah, I'd say that looks better. Funny thing is, that has the same marking there, 1 1/8, as that one. 1 1/8 H. But that seal is different to that, isn't it? Look at that, it's completely different. Look at it. Don't like that. Okay, I'm going to use this one. This is the same routine I just went through on the other one, but I didn't look at that seal. But I didn't notice it as being funny in any way. I might take the other side back off again. Have a look at it. Just wipe my greasy gloves on the cylinder to just give it a bit of a, you know, slightly corrosion resistant covering. At least it's a UNF thread. Okay, I'm going to get that fitted now on the driver's side, no, passenger side. It's a little bit awkward to set you up to see because it's so tight. I'll try. If it's no good, I'll just bring it back when I've finished. That's it, nice. Went on okay. This is a special nut and washer. It's an aircraft nut and a washer that I made myself. That's only just gone tight on there. Okay, so that's on. Good. Nice. Okay, right. I'll do that again on the other side. But I might pull the cylinder first. Just have a quick look at the seal. Because I haven't put the spring on or anything yet on the other side. Okay. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. So it took me a couple of minutes to get the other thing off. I just want to get a glimpse at this seal. Yeah, that one's fine, look. That's got the correct angles. So why the hell did the other cylinder from the same manufacturer have that seal in it? What the hell is going on these days? Bloody hell, it's enough to make you just want to stop doing it, innit? You know, you shouldn't be banging your head against a brick wall every time. Okay, well that didn't take long to check that, so at least I've checked it. Okay, I'll go and get that put back on. You saw me do it on the other side, so I won't bother showing it. So I didn't notice anything funny about this seal, so I was right by the look of it. I'm just getting ready to bleed the brakes, and I just look down here and you can see that the cylinder has weeped some fluid. The fluid has run back towards the cylinder, but there's that's a 1 inch square on there, and when I put this car together I thought, how am I going to undo that 1 inch square? It's a little bit awkward to get to. So I went on eBay and I bought the cheapest 1 inch drive socket that I could find. You know, it was like £6 or something, and it just happened to be like a 7/8 or a 22mm. So I found a big wheel nut that was 22mm or 7/8 and threaded that bolt up into it. So now this goes on there, and I can undo that now. Ooh. It's got a big T-bar on the end of this. Interesting that that's got a copper washer on it. Anyway, okay, so there you can see my little tool that I made. Dead easy. And here's one of those caps from that type of cylinder that I've modified. Trouble is I can't put my thing on it, can I? How am I going to tighten that up? Okay, I'll get the rest of my brake bleeding kit in place then. I've gone round and bled the brakes. I use the Easy Bleed, and I've bled it all out into that thing there, and I got air out of all of them. Not very much, only a little bit. But there's only a tiny little bit in the cylinder, isn't there? Because both the pistons are in, so just needs to get that bit of air out. I've only been round once, and there's a brake pedal there that works. It's a little bit late here. I've been out here quite a while. Well, I didn't start till relatively late, but I've been out here a while. I've got the hubs on, I've got the nuts on. So all I need to do tomorrow is take that off, put everything away. I might come out later actually. Take everything off, put everything away, put the wheels back on and torque everything up. So I might come out later and just do that, just to say I've finished. So new wheel cylinders all round. These ones slightly modified, which is really annoying, but you know, hey. At least the cylinders are new. It's hopeless, isn't it, trying to buy decent stuff? I mean, I must admit, I look on Rock Auto, and some of the cylinders are like $50 plus. Well, I can't afford to buy a selection of those cylinders, let's say 3 different manufacturers at $50 a time, just to see if one of them are going to be any good. I can't afford to do it. And the way I'm measuring them is a bit too technical to ask other people to measure theirs. So that ain't going to happen. But I found these cylinders were relatively cheap. They're about $13 a side. And I'm thinking, for the sake of 5 minutes on the lathe and a quick clean and inspection, that's money well saved. It cost me about £85 for a pair of them and a pair of front cylinders from Rock Auto. And again, they were like the bargain basements. If you look around all the different models, you'll find some are listed cheaper than others. And some cylinders that aren't listed on some models are listed on others and are cheaper than the ones that are listed on the other models. So a little bit of shopping around. And the other thing you have to do with Rock Auto is make sure that everything's coming from the same warehouse, so that it cuts down on the shipping. Okay, righto. I'm going to call it good just for now, and I'll be back and do a bit more, and when I do come back I'll bring you out and show you what I'm doing. Hello, welcome back to Mart's Garage. It's the day after. I've put the wheels back on. I've just took the axle stands out. I'm just about to lower it down. I need to torque up the wheel nuts and torque up the axle nuts and tidy the tools away, and then the truck's back up and running. Okay, so yeah, it's an interesting job, and it's interesting to see that there's been no improvement really in the wheel cylinders, although as I said, I don't know what any of the other brands are like. I can't afford to buy all of those, but I think these will be okay. Righto, thanks very much for joining me. I'll just give you one last shot when it's up and running. Okay, back in a bit then. Hello. Right, the truck's back down on the ground. I've torqued all the wheel nuts up. I've torqued up the axle nuts, and as far as I know, that's all ready to go now. Just out of interest, I dismantled the wheel cylinders that were on the back, and to be honest, they weren't bad at all. These I think must have been some replacement ones, because the holes on these ones are a little bit up the bore. So what I've done, I got a couple more of them rebuild kits, and I've just honed them out, cleaned the pistons. I've shortened the pistons on this side by 2mm, 80 thou, and reassembled them all up with the red grease. So there's a couple of wheel cylinders that can go on the shelf next time I need a pair. I still think I'd buy those ones that I just bought again, simply because they are relatively cheap and they're workable. Okay, righto. Anyway, those are my rebuilt wheel cylinders and the end of the job on the truck. Okay, righto. Thanks very much for watching then. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then. Bye.